Don't forget to smile, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the third episode of the RFC Tuesday podcast, the weekly show on the web where we invite the best and the brightest in the financial services industry. And we try to pick their minds, learn from their success, and especially their expertise. Today's episode is securing your property investment. You dreamt it, you built it, now protect it.
This show is powered by IARFCPH, the Philippine chapter of the International Association of Registered Financial Consultants. The IARFCPH is an association dedicated to the craft of financial consulting and is the sole organization authorized to provide and conduct RFC conversion courses and as well and continuing education in the field of financial consulting.
We are your hosts. I am your anchor for tonight. I am Ryan Daes, a registered financial consultant, chartered wealth manager, and registered estate planner.
I'm Andre Michael Labieres, a registered financial consultant and a stockbroker.
And I'm Coach John Dizon, a registered financial consultant and a life coach in NLP Manila.
Thank you, Coach John and Andre. So, guys, with the recent events of flooding sa Bicol, Marikina Valley, Cainta, and even Cagayan Valley, which just experienced a flooding about less than 12 months ago, we deemed it as important na pag-usapan ng risk management, particularly on property insurance. Bakit? Kasi a risk management section of a financial plan is actually the core of a financial plan. Kasi if everything falls down, your dreams will go down with it. And please remember that buying a house is the biggest investment or purchase that a person will make in their lifetime. And buying a car, which is good for moving people right now, well, even before, is the second largest purchase that a person will make.
I totally get what you're saying, Kuya. In my case, I bought a property which I intend to use for building a house, a family home in the future. And I also have a car, and I'm just visualizing what would happen to my property, my future house, and my car. Should something as horrible as the Typhoon Ulysses take place, it would be devastating.
Correct.
Right. So, speaking of which, during my preparation during this podcast, I did a research and I saw from Asian Disaster Reduction Center na an average of 20 tropical cyclones pass through the
Grabe.
So actually, madami talaga yung nagpa-pass through dito. Actually, nakakatuwa nga kaya hindi yung sa typhoon but yung guest natin kasi very apt and very timely yung pag-guesting niya dito sa atin. So it seems that the DFA's campaign slogan, yung "It's more fun in the Philippines," actually nag-work rin siya sa storm. Like yung last na bagyo, di ba? Parang ang tagal-tagal niya nagstay. So parang ang bilis-bilis niya. Tapos sa Pilipinas, nagstay lang siya doon ng bago.
Correct.
Philippines daw. Ayan.
Tama.
Is why I am so excited to bring in Miss Edena and Festan. Before I formally introduced her to you, our viewers, um, we would like to check muna and greet sino yung mga nandyan sa ating FB Live, this RFC Tuesday podcast. Ayan.
Batiin natin yung mga members ng IARFC Philippines, yung mga registered financial consultants na nakalog in. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.
Yes,
Good
yes.
evening.
Oo. And
Siyempre, John, yung executive producer natin, baka makalimutan natin.
sino pa ba ang ating executive producer? Then si Mother Miss Grace. Ayan. Of course, she's watching us on the side as well. Louie, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Louis is in the sidelines right now.
Correct. So she's currently not feeling well, pero kahit na hindi siya feeling well, nandyan pa rin siya sa siya yung actually nag-direct somehow nung show na to on the technical side. So thank you so much, Louie, for doing this. We wish you to get well soon. Ayan.
Yeah, get well soon, Louie.
Rick Gayon. Hello, Rick. Yan, sino pa?
Yung kapatid ng ating nanay, ang ating tita, si Miss Faith, for sure, nandyan yan.
Faith, hello, hello. Yan. All right.
Okay. So, let's continue on. By the way, please shout out where you are from, say hello, or if you relate with the topic, if you want to share some experience, sige po, just type it in on the comment section of our Facebook Live podcast.
Yeah.
And also, please don't forget to follow us in Facebook so you won't miss an episode.
Okay. Hi to Roche Flum.
Oh, Miss Roche Flum.
Ano ba yung pronunciation ko?
Roche Flum.
Flum. What a nice name. Miss Susan de Borja Hasarino. And of course, our Mr. President Boyet Benavides. Ayan. Hello. Ayan.
Hello.
Yan, siguro I want to introduce na our special guest for today before we bring her up to the screen. Particularly very excited with this one kasi I've heard her speak na I was very engaged kasi di ba tama, Kuya Ryan, with what you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly risk management ang financial planning. And usually, actually, nakakalimutan. House is actually one of the biggest investment that we do with our lives, di ba? Pero usually nakakalimutan ng tao na actually protektahan yung asset nila. And financial advisors actually nakakalimutan din yan. So we would actually, dami kong actually I'm sorry. Ako kasi medyo excited ako sa guest. Narinig ko na siya mag-speak in a lot of radio shows and I'm excited to hear from her again. I couldn't believe na mangyayari na ako yung magiging host one day for this one. I love the way she speaks. She's very calm and always with clarity. Ayan. So, ang linaw-linaw niyang sumagot. That's why nung napanood ko siya dun sa radio show na yon, I was actually chatting dun sa I was doing commenting rin sa FB Live nila. So, nakausap ko na rin somehow si Miss Edena in that way. Ayun. To formally introduce Miss Edena and Festan, she is from the insurance professional in Standard Insurance, one of the leading non-life insurance here in the Philippines for more than 25 years already. Ganun na po katagal ang ating guest for today. Ayan. She is a senior vice president and head of the claims division of Standard Insurance, leading the servicing of motor and non-motor claims of its nationwide customers. Ayan. Miss Edena, welcome to the RFC Tuesday podcast.
Yan. Welcome,
Hello.
Miss Edena. Welcome, Miss Edena. Thank you for joining
Good
us.
evening. Thank you, John. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, Andre,
Thank you.
for inviting me over to your program.
Thank you. So, you're very welcome po. No, we would like to thank you kasi parang very short notice po ito, no? Tapos, very actually kasi ang daming talagang typhoon na dumating eh.
Mm-mm.
Our dear guests, may we remind you to just feel free to ask questions in the chat. So, titingin kami,
Mm.
tingin din si na Louie dyan. Ayan.
Babantayan po nila Louie at saka ni Miss Grace ang ating chat group or chat box. Okay, so let's go through with the first question, Miss Edena. When people think about non-life insurance, normally, ang unang naiisip ng tao, fire insurance kasi, di ba? Dahil in most cases like me, I have a bank loan for my home. So, syempre required ako ng fire insurance. So, yun lang ba ang produkto sa general insurance for insuring property? Fire insurance lang po ba?
Actually, Ryan, hindi lang property insurance ang pinag-uusapan sa non-life insurance business.
Mm-hmm.
For our company, since kami ang leading motor car insurer sa bansa, we also cover motor car. No, that would include yung private vehicles, trucks, motorcycles, no? Covered yan. And then we also have our cargo insurance, marine cargo insurance. Importante yan for businesses no engaged in hauling or in logistics. At meron din tayong travel insurance pero sa ngayon medyo stop muna yan since travel is restricted at this time. And even non-life kami, we also cater to providing personal accident insurance.
Oh yeah, I heard about yung accident insurance and maraming schools ang kumukuha niyan, tama po ba?
Correct. Schools, minsan yung group of employees under one company, pwede din pong i-cover yan. Actually ngayon, meron kaming product for kasambahay, for OFW. Customize ito to cover
wow.
itong ating mga kababayan na nasa ganitong career or employment po.
Tama po ba ma'am, parang micro-insurance po yan, no?
Well, halos, pero it's not considered as micro-insurance.
Okay.
It's a general non-life insurance product talaga.
Okay. Gets po. Okay. Anyway, could you tell us also if ano ba yung pinaka-common na claim na na-encounter nyo sa standard insurance? Kasi usual nga, we're talking about properties right now. Normally, if you own a property, fire insurance ang meron ka. Does that mean yun yung pinakamalaking claim po when it comes to insuring properties? How about flooding, earthquake? Kasi talking about floods and Philippines being in the Pacific Rim of Fire, syempre medyo we're always waiting for the big one to happen. Is there has standard insurance paid a claim on those things? Or which among those three perhaps yung pinakamalaki ang claim experience ninyo?
For property claims, property insurance claims, ang malalaking hits dyan could either be on a single incident, fire loss, fire claim, lalo kung talagang yung buong property would be damaged by the fire. But if you talk of catastrophic losses, syempre papasok dito yung typhoon and flood-related incidents. Ito lang, recent natin, Typhoon Ulysses and Rolly. But if you would go back doon sa history ng mga typhoons sa Philippines, we had the cases of Yolanda, we had the Ondoy incident in Metro Manila, and then we had the earthquake in Bohol. So if you would look at this, ito yung mga different properties kasi in situated in a particular area, affected siya. So yung kabuuan nun, it could be a big loss or financial damage doon sa respective owners ng mga properties na yan, as well as doon sa insurance company din.
Okay. Anyways, so grabe pala, no? Ang dami i-consider pala at saka maraming pwedeng maging claims talaga, no? So I guess prepared ang standard insurance or all the insurance companies are prepared for such things, no? So talking about claims, Miss Edena, we're quite curious how it works kasi like 3 of us 4 here our life insurance, have background in life insurance. So medyo familiar kami sa claims process ng life insurance. But when it comes to general insurance, medyo newbie kami dyan. Wala kami masyadong alam. Could you please walk us through sa normal claims process ng isang non-life insurance company, or at the very least for standard insurance, how does it go?
Siguro, Ryan, before I go to that, insurance companies are also like clients. No, we also reinsure. No, especially at this time, it is important to consider if you are looking for an insurer, an insurance company. Dapat nakasiguro din siya at the back, may support siya. We call them reinsurers. No, for standard, we have support from foreign reinsurers na highly rated by rating companies, Standard and Poor's. Siguro you're familiar kasi nasa finance sector kayo. So, importante yon kasi in the event na may mga catastrophic losses na ma-encounter ang isang company, it must be financially secured na meron din siyang matatakbuhan, maasahan na would cover doon sa mga excess losses na beyond the retention level ng company.
Okay, meron palang same rin pala sa life insurance, no? May reinsurer din ang general insurance industry. Okay, that's good. So I presume, ma'am, mas maraming letters, mas malapit sa A, mas malaki yung claims paying ability ng reinsurance partner ninyo.
Correct.
Okay,
Tama
kasama
yan,
pala sa
Ryan.
kino-consider yon. So paano po yung process nyo, ma'am, kung halimbawang covered nung what was the term that you use, yung within your limits, yung claims claim ng isang insured?
Yeah. Actually, for every claim naman, we have a general process flow.
Okay.
No, we'll talk about yung general steps, no, yung how it would go. So for a customer, halimbawa si Jan, let's say he's insured with us, his property has been affected by a typhoon or his car has been damaged in an accident. Syempre, he has to check his policy, no. It's important na unang-una, bayad mo na yung premium ng policy, and there's a corresponding insurance coverage for the particular damage o kung ano yung cost, yung proximate cost nung aksidente o ng damage. And then, syempre, he has also to check kung yung accident date or yung date of occurrence occurs within the validity period of the insurance policy. Now, kung easily, check mo naman yun. And pag nakita mo na yun, nakita mo yung policy mo, it's valid, it's effective, then you can notify your insurer. No? For us, they can notify us sa aming customer service at any of our 60 branches nationwide. Pwede din po sa aming website. So the website, I think it's a must that nandoon yung mga requirements. May claim form din doon that the client could fill in para yung initial information about the loss, about the incident, will be immediately reported to the insurance company. So importante po yun, no? Quick notification of the incident to your insurer. Pangalawa, since the claims requirements po are given in the website, or if you report personally to our office or if you call, we can give you a checklist of the requirements. Yung checklist po would depend on the type of claim you're filing. Siyempre, iba yung set ng documents for a motor claim, iba din yung set ng documents for a property residential claim. Similar, a property commercial claim would have a different set of documents. So as a customer, no, lahat naman po tayo, if we own valuable properties, tinatago naman natin yung mga important documents, no, pertaining to our ownership, no, of the property. So copies of that would be required. No, it's important kasi na we should be establishing na the claimant o yung nagki-claim is the person who has insurable interest over the property, meaning may karapatan siya to claim indemnification sa policy. And pangalawa, importante pa, the claimant should also be able to substantiate yung loss niya or yung damage niya by submitting yung estimates o yung cost of how much the damage was, no? Yun yung parang basic qualifications or criteria for the documents. Pero syempre naka-identify naman yun. So after that, nagsiset naman usually ang insurance company ng inspection, investigation. Even prior to the submission of documents, pwede nang i-arrange yun with the customer na pupunta po kami dyan, ma'am or sir, we will look at your property, we'll inspect it, we'll assess the damage para makita natin kasi that would also constitute as basis for the valuation of the claim, no, sa claim adjustment. So ibabalidate kasi yun ng assessor yung sinabit ni Sir John doon sa kanyang estimate vis-a-vis yung inspection naman ng adjuster ng insurance company. Part po yun ng review, no? Siyempre yung kung paano siya na-damage, yung proximate cause, if it's a typhoon claim or a flood claim at meron siyang cover for natural perils or allied perils, then it would be covered. But ordinarily, kasama po yung validation and investigation sa process. And then, also important that the client must also cooperate and fully disclose all information relative to the incident and to the property para pag pumunta po yung assessor, para siyang para kasi siyang investigator na he has to fully reconstruct how the incident happened. And it would be very helpful for the customer to relay all the information prior to the occurrence of the loss and immediately after kung ano yung ginawa nila. So, para mas maganda yung assessment. Okay, so tutuloy ka lang, no? If that is completed, then the claims assessor or the adjuster would submit a report. Andun na po yung kanyang findings and his recommendation as to the evaluation. And that would be reviewed by the corresponding officer, no, sa company. And if found in order, tali naman, well documented, no, reasonable yung pag-evaluate, then the approval will be given and negotiation would proceed with the surgeon. I-formalize po natin yung offer doon as to how much the company would be paying that particular claim. So, ganun po yung proseso.
Wow, grabe. Alam na alam talaga ni ma'am, kaya pala siya yung SVP. Ma'am, naalala ko lang.
Sorry, but I would want...
Okay lang, ma'am. We appreciate it kasi minsan yung mga ganitong bagay hindi naman po kasi na-explain pag binentahan ng general insurance eh. Kahit life insurance minsan there are some
actually minsan
'di ba hindi po na-explain mabuti and mahirap naman kung kailan magki-claim doon pa lang malalaman nung insured. Maalala ko lang Miss Edena kasi ito pong si John taga Pampanga. Although ang balita ko lang naman every 400 years pumuputok ang pinatubo. Covered po ba ang lahar yung 'di ba yung pagbaha ng lahar at saka paano po kung halimbawa kasamang naanod yung policy nung insured?
Okay, so dalawa ata yung questions mo doon.
Opo, dalawang questions po yun, sorry.
Covered po ba ang lahar? So actually, yung mga natural perils natin, depende sa underwriting guidelines. So yung appetite ng insurance company, what type of risks are they willing to cover? So may mga underwriting guidelines po yan. May restrictions din po. That is in consonance then kung ano din po yung reinsurance guidelines or parameters. Okay, so depende ho yan kung it would be acceptable to the insurance company. Now, so yung second question, paano kung naanod yung policy, wala na akong record? Siguro it would not be a problem, especially for standard, kasi we keep a record of your insurance policy with us. We have the complete information about the property that we have insured, including the coverages that we have extended. No? So machi-check po natin yan kung meron kang effective policy with standard. Nasa system naman po. So nothing to worry kung naapektuhan yung copy ng policy. Yun.
Wow, napaka-customer-centric, no? Okay. So, well, yung in-explain niyo pong process ng claim. But if everything is complete, the insurance policy is in force, acceptable yung amount, or kumbaga nag-match lahat, how long does it take to process a claim? Pag na-approve na po?
Actually, that's a good question. No? It would be quite difficult to tell you na 1 week ito, 3 days ito, 1 month to, because yung insurance claims would yung the time it would take to process the claim would depend on the type of claim that you're filing and on the adjustment process it would require depending on the degree of damage of the property at kung ano yung property affected. I mean, siguro sample na lang for motor car insurance, no? Simple motor car insurance na say collision damage na merong 3 to 5 panels na nasira, na damage, na nabaloktot, nabasag yung salamin, yung lights, no? For that, pwedeng i-process yan mas mabilis. Pwede pa nga in 24 hours or in 3 days, pwedeng ma-issue yung LOA. Kasi the documents, unang-una, registration and driver's license, are easily masasubmit. Available siya right away. So depending on the claim, but if you're talking of a commercial loss, say a mall na kino-cover natin for several millions and the damage incurred would also be in the millions then syempre that would take time. Even the client would take time to complete the requirements. And the insurance company naman would have to have enough time to review it thoroughly para naman we owe it to the company and to our RI na tama yung evaluation namin. But we also see to it na kasi sa standard, we set yung parang turnaround time, target turnaround time, set TAT para may consistency in how we process the claims, how we deliver yung final approval of a claim. Para kung say, property loss amounting this much, 100,000, simple property lang affected, we have this 10-day processing time upon submission of complete documents. So we adhere to that. So kung may konti mang paglagpas, may mga instances naman na gano'n, it could be that there were validations that were needed or required. Or minsan, yung client then would have a problem dun sa submission ng documents. No? They are finding alternative documents to submit to prove their loss. So may mga ganong allowances naman. But we make sure na merong target TAT for each type of claim.
Nice, ganun pala, no? At least having a turnaround time would assure insured clients na hindi kayo natutulog sa pansitan, ika nga. Kumbaga, you don't sit on claims and you would want to pay it if it's payable naman as a claim. Matanong ko lang, ma'am, kasi ni-remind lang ako ni Mr. Joseph Uiching at saka ni Fitzgerald na 'di ba pag nag-claim meron tayong participation, tama po ba?
Oh, yes, correct po. There are policies, no, may coverages po na ang insured ay may participation. Normal po 'yan or usual po sa motor car insurance policy.
Okay.
Meron po tayong deductible o yung defined absolute amount na dinideduct po for every claim. And then meron din po yung depreciation kung tawagin. Depende po yan sa age ng vehicles. But for motor car, nagsisimula po yan when the vehicle reaches 3 years of age and older. May ranges siya na nakaset naman sa insurance policy. And it's standard among all or common among all insurance companies kasi prescribed naman po ng Insurance Commission.
So regulated po yun, yung amount na yun, kung ano yung binabawas.
Yes, sir. Regulated yung amount at saka yung percentages for the depreciation.
So parang pag lumampas na ng 3-year typical warranty ng isang kotse, yun na, nag-uumpisa na yung depreciation. Ganun rin po ba sa fire insurance na mga real estate properties?
Okay. When we talk of property insurance, sa standard cover niya na fire and lightning, ito po yung kumbaga basic cover that we afford to our customers. Wala pong wala pong participation. But if we talk of the allied perils, no, say for example yung typhoon, meron po yung specific sa endorsement niya na naka-declare na 2% of the value of the property, no, na naka-insure. Yun po yung i-compute natin pag magkaroon ng loss. Hindi po yun per item kasi minsan may misconception na halimbawa residential house ang naka-insure. Ang na-damage po, for instance, due to flooding ay yung mga household contents. Pero partial lang. Say, 2-story siya ang example. So sa baba lang ang na-damage yung mga gamit sa sala
Mhm.
sa dining, no, ang na-damage. So ang basis po ng deductible for property insurance, it's the entire value of all the household contents in that property. Hindi lang po yung nabaha o nabasa ng mga property. Doon po kasi minsan nagkakaroon ng
Okay.
parang misunderstanding eh. Maganda po
Mm.
ipaliwanag din po yun sa customers natin.
Okay. So before they can file a claim, lalo kung contents at baha, dapat siguraduhin lang natin na lumampas siya doon sa 2% na deductible kung allied peril or acts of nature, tama po, no?
Actually, yes. Lalabas po siya na ganun po.
Mhm.
Before the policy would respond, the loss should be more than the 2% equivalent of yung policy deductible for the
Okay.
allied perils po.
Grabe, ang ganda. Ang dami ko natutunan, Miss Edena. So, John.
Ayan, talking of baha. Ayan.
Yes, Jan.
Ito yung pinaka namin eh. Ang daming actually nabaha, especially in, like for example, sa Provident Village, ayan, in Marikina, in Cainta, ang dami actually nabaha. Question lang po, Miss Edena, is it, ano ba yon? Yung frequently flooded areas, are they still insurable? Or parang may exception na except for flooding? Paano po ba yon?
Okay. For I would answer no in behalf of Standard Insurance. In our company, meron kami nung tinatawag na catastrophe risk assessment system. So ina-apply po 'yon countrywide, nationwide, parang meron pong defined na mga areas kung saan ano yung mataas yung mga risk or exposures natin sa natural hazards. Kasama na po diyan yung flooding, earthquake po, landslide, no? Ganun po. Storm surge, meron din po. So if these areas o yung property nyo po located in an area or situated in an area na mataas po yung say risks of flooding, no? Risk of flooding. That's yung example nyo po. Then that property, since hindi po siya papasa on the grading, no, for natural hazards for flooding, then hindi po tayo makapag-extend ng coverage for that particular peril. Pwede po siyang ma-insure standard fire and lightning cover.
Right.
Yun po yung possible na insurance na makuha niya. Although minsan po there are certain areas na in general prone to flooding, pero may certain locations na alam niyo po yan, medyo elevated yung area. And then merong properties na may mitigation measures na ini-introduce sa property nila. Halimbawa, yung mga flood walls na pwedeng ipagawa or i-install within the premises or surrounding the property to possibly protect it from flood. Yun po, pwedeng tignan ulit or i-review ng underwriters ng ating mga risk engineers if sufficient po yun na protektahan yung property mo for flooding, given that your area where that property is located is prone to flooding. So yun po, mga possible na baka pwedeng tignan ulit or i-consider.
Wow, ang nice po ah. So, to our viewers again, I would repeat that. For example, ako nasa Marikina ako, flooded yung area ko madalas. So, hindi siya possible nga magpa-insure. Pero I can do some ways na like yung magpagawa ng para hindi pumasok yung flood, yung mga extra walls, na I can let standard or any insurance company reconsider. Kumbaga, they can check again to see if pwede na ba akong i-insure. Ganun po ba? Tama po ba?
Correct yan. Opo, oo. Pwede siyang tignan ulit to review kung baka pumasa na siya with
Correct.
this mitigating measures or installation.
I see. Ang galing. Oo, tama nga naman. Okay. Okay, with that one naman po, there are a lot of places naman right now na dati hindi po siya frequently flooded areas. Pero dahil, kumbaga, yun last time, parang yung nasa mababa, puno na, na-flood na sila. yung dating mga hindi frequently flooded, ngayon nagiging frequently flooded. Paano po niyo yung um, investigation or consideration niyo para sa mga lugar na newly frequently flooded na po?
Actually, ano yan, John, yung aming catastrophe monitoring system, tuloy-tuloy siya in real time na update yung data. Depende doon sa mga huling events na nangyari tulad ngayon, yung Ulysses and Rolly. So kung there were areas dati na hindi flooded but at this time inabot siya ng baha, that would also already be considered doon sa system. So the next time na merong property doon na would want to be covered sa standard, then it has to go to that assessment.
Wow.
No? Bali, i-update na siya of the recent events,
Wow.
catastrophic events na nangyari.
Wow. Very updated pala si Standard. Real-time ang updated niya for the assessment. Which is tama rin po talaga, no? Kasi ang dami nangyayaring bagyo eh. So, kumbaga kung frequently flooded area ka na ngayon, iba na yung assessment for you talaga. Diba? Alright. Question. Kanina kasi nag-uusap po kami nila Kuya Ryan while before kami mag-online. There are certain properties naman po na, for example, undervalued. Pero dahil may sentimental value for me, gusto ko siyang ipa-insure ng mas malaki. So napapaisip ako, ay nag-uusap kami ni Kuya Ryan, is that possible? Parang kunyari 5 million lang yung worth ng house ko, pwede ko ba siyang ipa-insure, let's say 15 million or 100 million? Pwede po ba yan?
John, it's important that any property, no, should be sufficiently insured.
Okay.
Okay, but it does not mean na kailangang i-overvalue yung property mo when you insure it.
Mhm.
One thing, ano yung you would ask kasi as an insurance company, lalo na kung magkaroon ng loss, what is the motivation of the owner of having it insured at this amount? Lalo yung sample mo kanina, napakalaki ng disparity, no?
100.
Anong motivation? Why it becomes it becomes an area of concern for the insurance company kapag nagkaroon ng loss. So siguro we would be suggesting for properties na lalo na yung malalaki talagang houses, no? Actually, when you insure a property, it is the insured who determines how much you would want it insured. Tama ka, ikaw yung nag-estimate ng value. We could only give guidance, parang reference, but the insurers could not dictate how much mo dapat i-insure ang property mo. So siguro another suggestion would be to have it appraised, assessed yung value before insuring. For big commercial risks and big residential houses, actually nire-recommend to ng underwriters namin para before writing the policy, at least there is an independent appraisal done, and then somehow yung value niya clear to the insured na ito yung assessed value at this time before policy issuance. Sa insurance company naman, mayroong masasabi nating objective, independent reference as to the value or halaga ng property na i-cover. So yun. Kasi mahirap if you overvalue, you pay a higher premium kasi malaki yung basis nung pag-compute nung insurance premium mo. Baka magalit ka, I paid for this when it comes to a claim. Ito lang babayaran mo. Baka manghingi ka pa ng sukli mo, ibalik mo sa akin. Sobra pala yung binayad ko. Or, kapag nagka-loss naman, we don't want to penalize the insured because of underinsurance. Ano naman to? When you underinsure a property, kapag nagka-loss ka, in the adjustment process, we also determine the ratio of underinsurance. So, halimbawa, a property is worth 10 million pesos. You insured it for 5 million pesos.
Okay.
And then it suffered a loss of about, say, 3 million. So when it comes to claim computation, proportionately, yung 3M mo would be lessened by 50% kasi 50% yung underinsurance mo eh.
I see.
So you would be paid with only 1.5 million. So ang laki nung i-assume mo na part ng loss as
Right.
the insured, as the owner of the property, 'di ba? For you to restore it, you have to shell out another 1.5 million to restore or repair the property.
I see. So ratio pala siya. Hindi porket nakakuha
Yes.
ko ng 5 million, 3 million bayad na ni insurance. So i-assess ulit ni insurance kung magkano yung the whole thing, the whole asset. And then propose.
Yes, i-assess niya 'yon.
Ganun pala.
Yes, oo, tama dyan.
Oh, I see. Ngayon ko lang.
Proportionate share lang on the loss. You become a
John,
co-insurance. You become a co-insurer for the uninsured portion. Yun, that's the term pala. You become your own
okay, okay.
insurer for that portion.
Correct. Oo, kasi
John, may question tayo sa live chat.
go ahead.
Sorry to butt in. Oh, kasi well, so far sinasabi ni Vernon Maulyon, gustong-gusto niya yung topic. Ang ganda raw ng napag-uusapan natin, especially yung mga yung sinagot nyo kanina, Miss Edena. Bukod doon, may question po si Miss Mayet De Leon. She has 2 questions. Question number 1 is there an insurance addressing theft or of property inside the house? Yung laman, ninakaw na Ming vase perhaps or a computer or a laptop. And with the rise of yung question number 2 is with the rise of work from home, are there gadget insurance available that that can easily replace computers or phones na nanakaw within the premises? Kasi concern ngayon yan. Like ako, 3 anak ko nagsa-study from home, nag-work from home kami mag-asawa. So imagine the number of gadgets being used. Paano kung manakawan kami? So concern ng lahat ngayon yan.
Okay. So Ryan, for the first question, yes, insurance cover for or against burglary or theft can be extended to property insurance. So, ano yun? Burglary cover. So meron yun, may extension na ganun. You can buy your insurance policy with that kind of protection. So pwedeng ma-cover yun. And then second, for electronic equipment, mga computers po, laptops na talagang kasama na natin ito, partner na to sa everyday life natin, saan man tayo pumunta. We advise our listeners and our audience na they should have it covered for electronic equipment insurance, EEI cover kung tawagin, against theft, burglary, or yung damage. No? So may specific cover din po dyan for computers, electronic equipment insurance po.
Ako po yung may follow-through question, Ma'am Edena. Sorry, John. Ano po ba yan? Separate policy ba yan or is it part of a fire insurance?
For the electronic equipment insurance, actually it could be a separate cover. Meron siyang standalone policy for electronic equipment insurance. Pwede din pong i-combine. It's actually customizable naman, depende doon sa need ng requirements ng client kung ano ang gusto niyang coverage. Kasi we could incorporate naman additional coverages, additional extensions depending on the need of the customer. Pero subject nga po for additional premium din yon kasi ini-expand mo yung protection ng cover.
A question lang po, meron bang mga instances, for example, covered na siya ng theft, covered pa yung electronics, pero so you're paying for 2 insurances, pero nangyari siya na yung electronics ninakaw. So, paano po yung claims nun? Isa lang po yun, no? Or dalawa yung makukuha dahil ninakaw siya at electronics yun.
John, you're saying, 'di ba? Parang dalawang insurance type of cover ang nagko-cover sa isang gadget or equipment.
Correct.
Actually, sa insurance, meron tayong principle of indemnity, no, na sinasabi kung ano man yung value ng property, kailangan mong ibalik yung client doon sa value niya prior to the loss. So, meaning, hindi siya pwedeng magkaroon ng double indemnification under both policies. Titignan natin kung saan siya mas fit o alin yung policy na karapat-dapat mag-respond dito. So, either dun sa dalawa, But minsan naman, meron tayong tinatawag, babanggit ko na rin, yung co-insurance. Meaning, halimbawa, tayong lima, we are insurance companies, and we cover a property of the same extent of cover, say fire and lightning, no? Same property ang kino-cover, same interest. Pag gano'n naman, yung loss would be a portion amongst the five of us. Kasi we are acting as co-insurers doon sa property na
Okay. I
yun.
see.
But dun sa question mo kanina, either lang sa dalawa. We would determine ano yung mas suitable policy to answer for that loss.
I see. I would guess yung mas nagko-cover, no? Yung mas nag-appropriate for the loss.
For the loss, yes, correct.
Yun. O nga naman, ano? Kasi, tama eh. Thank you for the wonderful question, Miss Mayet, no? Kasi, of course, kapag nawala yung laptop, biglang wala na agad work, wala na agad school yung mga bata. Kasi yun yung, work from home, study from home po lahat eh. Ayan. May question rin po ayan, IVB Soriano. Question, are paintings or collections from national artists insurable?
Napakagandang tanong. Under the standard fire or property insurance, meron pong provision doon that would exclude, no? Ini-exempt niya yung mga works of art. Kasi ito ay hindi siya mako-consider as ordinary items, no? But these works of art could be covered under a specific insurance. Talagang for those type of special items kung i-consider. And kamukha din nung nasabi ko kanina, there has to be evaluation of this works of art. Alam mo naman yung value ng painting. Mas sumisikat yung artist, mas tumatagal yung painting, mas mahal yung presyo niya. Oo. So, this is covered under a special type of insurance. Ordinarily, sa property or fire policy, excluded siya.
Okay.
Meron lang siyang parang 200 pesos ata per work of art. Ayaw mo naman i-cover at sa ganun, sa limited na yun amount. So, may special cover talaga siya for that.
Especially po kung national artist po yan, di ba, Miss Elena? Huwag naman.
Correct.
Oo. In addition to that, kasi parang nakikita ko ang ganda ng question ni Miss IVB. Paano po yun, kunyari, papa-insure ako? Kasi parang it seems like sa non-life, ang dami palang kinds of insurances. So, nasabi nyo nga na hindi porket in-insure nyo yung bahay, kasama yung painting, especially national artists. So, it's a special insurance pa. Paano po yun? For example, ako, simpleng mamamayan, paano papapasukin ko po ba yung in non-life insurance agent, tapos papakita ko, gusto ko yan pa-insure, ito. Ganun po ba yung, paano po yun?
Actually, halos ganun nga ang mangyayari. You would tell your insurance agent na I have this painting by Fernando Amorsolo na I would want to have it insured. So, sasabihin niya po and siguro we can try to find kung sino po yung art valuer na pwedeng makontak to establish kung ano po yung value nun. And the coverage po will have special conditions then pertaining to that work of art. Kasi lang naman nakahang sa wall. So in terms of protection, ano yung mga responsibilities ng client natin, ng owner. Naka-define din po yun. Kasi hindi naman po nangangahulugan na if you are insured, parang iasa mo na sa insurance company.
Correct.
One should act as if you're not insured. I mean, positively saying it na parang at all times dapat cautious tayo, maingat, iniingatan yung properties natin dahil investment naman po natin ito ang bahay natin, ang mga sasakyan, ang businesses po, ganun.
Tama po si Miss Edena. Hindi po, porket naka-insured po tayo, hindi na po natin naalagaan yung gamit. Kasi syempre, kaya nga po natin siya ini-insure kasi pinaprotektahan po natin yung investment natin. Ayan. Thank you, Miss Edena. Ayan. For others, can you, meron pa ba tayong questions?
may tanong si Miss Faith. I think we should ask it. Although medyo natakal siya kanina, but there's this notion or yung question ni Miss Faith is, hindi po ba adjuster yung nagsasabi kung ano yung value ng property? Or sila po ba yung nagbibigay ng value or sa claims lang po ba sila?
Ryan, siguro i-clarify natin yung role ng adjuster. No? When we talk of adjuster, adjusters come in kapag may claim siya or may damage na. When we talk of the determination of the value of the property, kapag in-insure pa lang, it's usually an appraisal company yung nagka-conduct nun. So the adjuster comes in kapag may claim na, may damage, pupunta siya doon to inspect the property, to assess the extent of damage. Ayun, kasama din sa determination kung ano yung value ng property at the time of loss. Pero kapag may claim na siya, papasok.
I see. Ayan. Meron ring tanong si Miss M. Messia. Tama, no? Miss, hindi ko kasi makita yung picture eh. Anyway, M. Messia, ina-accept ba ng insurance company to cover ang isang property located sa isang dead alley? I'm not sure ano yung dead alley eh. Ano po ba yun?
Dead-end property. Wala siyang lulusutan na kalsada, kumbaga.
Okay.
Okay, so sinabi ko nga kanina, each insurance company has their own underwriting guidelines. No? For standard insurance, for instance, meron na kaming types of properties na parang ito na yung tawagin nating ideal risks. Kung papasok ka doon sa mga ideal risks ng property, kumbaga yung mga less prone to fire, no? Less prone to incidents of acts of nature, then papasok po siya na pwedeng makover. But if you say na nasa dead end siya, medyo may difficulty po kasi doon in case there's a fire, yung dating po at pag-penetrate o pagpasok ng firefighter. So pwede pong makonsider as a point against that property yung ganong scenario po.
Right, so depende pa rin anong kind of insurance. Yeah. We're actually running out of time. Thank you so much for your question. Andre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I feel blown away. There's so much information I just learned. No? So coming from the investment industry, I don't really get much exposure in terms of insurance. So I learned so much. Now, for our podcast, our weekly podcast, the RFC Tuesday podcast is mainly for practitioners in the field of financial consulting. So for the benefit of our listeners, especially the practitioners, we would really appreciate it if we could explore how we could apply this in our practices. In that sense, risk management is fundamental, basically the core of crafting a comprehensive financial plan. So how would we go about maximizing non-life insurance when we give financial advice or when we write a financial plan?
Andre, I would suggest and I would highly recommend that you partner with an reputable insurance company, just like a standard insurance. No, you can contact us, get in touch with our sales division, so we can set up some arrangements on how we could work on and help you in delivering the general insurance as part of your financial consultancy services.
So how would that process go? Like, let's say, for example, in my case, to get a license as a stockbroker, I have to go through 2 examinations in the SEC. But if I would try to incorporate the non-life insurance into my practice, how would I go about that? Are there like 1 exam, 2 exams, or because there's so much, right? There's so much products and services we cover, like from fire, motor to equipment, accident. So is there an exam for each, or how does that work?
Actually, for the non-life insurance industry, in this sector, we have an examination given to persons who are interested to be non-life insurance agents. This is an examination given by the Insurance Commission, our regulatory body. So kung gusto nyo po na you would also become a licensed insurance agent, you could take that exam, but prior to that, you could also take courses given by the IIAP, the Asian Institute of Insurance Institute for Asia and the Pacific. No, nagbibigay sila ng basic non-life courses that could help you out before taking the examination sa Insurance Commission to become a licensed non-life insurance agent. And they also offer intermediate and advanced courses for the different non-life insurance products for a deeper understanding of how these are assessed, how these are underwritten or accepted.
Wow. So at least there's a formal process to go about it now, like at least an actual training course. So if can anybody just apply for the course, or do we have to be sponsored by an insurer like Standard Insurance?
Well, you can apply as an individual, and then you can also be sponsored by the company, by Standard. If we can work out a partnership or affiliation with any of you or of your group, pwede din po yun.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
Thank you, Ms. Adena, for the insights and time. We learned so much. For the benefit of our audiences, just a quick wrap up. Non-life insurance covers a broad range of products and services, like as Ms. Adena has mentioned. There's fire, motor, car, marine cargo, accident. There's also electronic equipment insurance. There's even parts about theft and burglary, and something even unique like the national paintings. So wow, we learned so much. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Edena. And then there's also the claims process. It was quite enlightening to understand how one would go about it. Typically, people don't ask how the claims would work. They would just buy the product. And I think it's amazing for us to know that, oh, there's a checklist. So we also need to make sure our documents are intact so that we can have a quicker turnaround time for our claims, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then it would also vary depending on the kind of claim. And then there's also different kinds of gradings. Like some areas might not get insurance due to the fact that it's really prone to risks. But if someone actually takes greater care of their property and ensures that they would minimize the risk, like setting up flood walls, they could actually be an exception, right? So I think that's amazing. I didn't realize that. I thought that, oh, if my home would be prone to flooding, I just have to leave. Instead, I can actually just construct flood walls, and then I'd get the appropriate insurance for that. So it's pretty interesting. So yeah, wow, that was very
Grabe.
enlightening. Yeah, wow. So thank you
we
so much.
think,
Wow.
actually we truly appreciate your presence here, Miss Edena. Ang dami po namin natutunan. We thank you for being here. And just in case siguro may mga nagtatanong na sa chat box, kung may mga interested magpa-insure sa Standard Insurance, where can we get information?
Okay, Ryan, thank you for that question. If you need to know more about our products and services, you can contact our customer service at 8845-1111, or you may set an appointment at our head office and any of our 60 branches nationwide.
Wow, 60, ang
60,
dami. Ang dami.
yes. And you can also reach us and check on our website at www.standard-insurance.com. And not the least, we also have our online presence. Follow us on our social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram.
Wow, ang daming channels para mag-inquire pala. So anyways, again, Miss Edena, we truly appreciate your time with us. Ang dami po naming natutunan. Sana wag po kayong magsasawa.
Yes, correct. So ang dami actually in financial planning holistically, nakakalimutan again ng mga tao to provide protection for their assets. Ayan, we thank you so much, Miss Edena, for providing this insight for all of us. Kasi usually, lack of knowledge talaga yung nandun eh. Kaya natatakot yung tao magpa-insure ng assets nila. Kasi what if ganito, what if ganito. Knowing that there are people like you who can explain it in such clarity and calmness makes us know more about these kinds of products. And we want sana the whole Filipino people to be protected in a way na parang kapag may sakuna na nangyayari, like typhoons, they're actually, hindi sila yung maapektuhan yung savings nila. They can actually have a peace of mind na, oy, let's do this. I-ano natin tong bagyo, makaraos tayo, and then after this one, magki-claims lang tayo. Ayan.
Tama.
At standard-insurance.com. May PH po ba?
Wala po.
Wala.
PH, ayun.
Wow.
The claims is pretty easy. Tapos kita naman natin from our interview with Miss Elena, very updated ang real-time ang kanilang assessment. Tapos andun rin yung customer-centric. We really want to thank you, Miss Elena, for having us yung guest for tonight's episode. Ayan.
Oh, everybody's asking for this nga pala.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much again, Miss Edena. So ngayon, people are asking, what's next? Next week, we have actually a very good topic to talk about. We will have two guests. Their names are si Mr. Gerald Valdivia and Attorney SP Sumulong of Carillion Partners. Sana you can join us as well, Miss Edena. They will be talking about the application of artificial intelligence enhanced investing. So, this is basically an introduction to the free continuing education that they will be sponsoring for all active members of the IARFC Philippines. So that gives us a more reason to renew our membership, di ba? Kasi imagine libreng continuing education when normally we pay at least 500 to learn new things. And ito na raw yung nagiging trend in investments. So sana mag-renew na tayo at sana samahan niyo po kami next Tuesday for our new topic on artificial intelligence enhanced investing. So on behalf of our executive producer, Miss Grace De Vera Escobar, this is the RFC Tuesday podcast saying, it is better to be in the know than to be the last to know. Good night, everyone. See you next Tuesday.
See
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Okay na? We're done, Louie. Sorry. Sorry.